This episode is brought to you by David's Bridal. The edit by DB Studio was designed with your packed social calendar in mind. Find the trends you're looking for in this wildly affordable collection of wedding, bridesmaid, and occasion dresses, starting as low as $49.95. Join Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Welcome to the Bouquet Toss, the podcast that helps you plan your wedding day your way. We're your hosts, Jessica
and Sari, and each episode we pick apart the traditions and trends that you either love, hate, or don't understand to help us all figure out why we do weddings the way that we do. The Bouquet Toss is part of the Love Stories TV podcast network. And today, we're going to talk about basically upcycling wedding decor.
Yeah.
Or wedding anything.
Yeah. The circular economy that is the wedding industry, or can be a part.
Right. I mean, I think it's like very clear that you do all this planning for one day. There's a lot of waste, but I think most people don't know just how much waste gets generated from one single wedding.
It's a shocking amount.
Yes. Let's look at it.
So we actually pulled a stat, and this is from Bloomberg. And obviously your wedding is going to be one of the most exorbitant day of your lives, but It's also the most carbon intensive. And the average carbon footprint of a U.S. wedding amounts to around 56 metric tons of CO2. And
help me understand what that even means.
Right, because I didn't really understand. But in contrast, apparently Americans individually produce only 14.9 tons in a 2022 report.
Over how long?
For an annual.
Annually,
around 15 tons, and a wedding can produce 56.
Oh, man.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different factors at play here. Obviously, travel, I think, is the biggest one when you look at the pie, if you were breaking it down, by percentages. So people traveling for weddings is definitely the biggest contributor.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, of course, food.
Yeah.
There's so much waste. We'll get into that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then that's not even factoring in every other wedding-related activity. So, your bachelorette, your bridal shower, anything like that, which, let's be clear, let's still have them.
Yeah, of course.
But it is something just to think about. And I think there are little things that you can do, not just to save the environment, which, yes, we need to do, and especially now, right? But also, just you can save money.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many people have the same bride sweatshirt that they can only wear for a few months of their life, right?
Yeah, that they're engaged. And then what? Are you really going to wear it after that?
Right. You're not. You're going to hopefully give it to somebody else who's going to wear it.
The sisterhood of the traveling bride sweatshirt.
Absolutely.
Or, beaded denim jacket or whatever the case might be.
I know, but I feel like that's out.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
hot take.
The Gen Zs think that a denim jacket with your new last name for your wedding is chuggy. Is that the word?
Chuggy. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm an elder millennial, so I'm not even trying to keep
I don't
up.
even know if I'm getting that right. But yeah, I've heard that's out. But again, do you?
Yeah.
If you want that, you should do that.
Well, and the great thing is you can totally, put it on, one of the resale apps or on Facebook Marketplace.
Not if it has your last name.
Yeah. Well, not if it has your last name, but the more specific bride or whatever.
Right, that you're not really going to keep or use again.
So maybe don't do the personalized last name. Is that what the takeaway is here?
I'm not sure. Well, I think, though, that another thing, it's the stuff of it all, right? It's the things you're going to have a single use wear out of potentially.
Right.
The biggest one of that is really your wedding dress,
Mm-hmm.
which we've got a whole episode on that. So I don't know that we have to dive in. Let's go watch that episode for more of the intricate details of just how much water it takes to make one wedding dress.
Right.
But I think that the good thing to think about there is that there are a lot of pre-owned wedding dresses out there at any given moment.
Yeah.
And if you really can find some of even the most luxury high-end designer gowns that were worn once.
Or sometimes not even worn at all.
That's true.
Given the, decision fatigue and like second guessing, brides buy a dress and they're like, oh no, I found another one I love. What am I going to do with this other one? And they put it on a real resale site. It's never even been worn before.
It's never been worn.
And you could get it for like 50% of the price,
Right. I mean, I think that that's another thing, like probably everything involved in like this circular economy idea that we want to champion is doing more research, like not just going to the typical places that you might buy something and swiping your credit card, but looking around a little bit more, which I think that like in this day and age, everyone's kind of pretty good at.
Yeah.
We're used to like online shopping and looking for the best price and looking for the discount and whatnot. So I think just a reminder that that totally applies to all things wedding.
Right.
It's a good thing.
For wedding dresses in particular, obviously you can save tremendously, and there's a lot of different places you can look.
Yes.
We had Sarah Gabor from Love Twice Bridal on the show recently, but there's also, apps like Poshmark or, Still White. Thank you. And there's even like clothing rental, like direct from the owner services. I think one's called Pickle.
Yeah.
That's gaining popularity. So there's lots of options out there, but it does take extra time. Right. And that's the biggest thing. It's like for so many aspects of trying to save money, it is going to cost you time and like the research and like looking around. You're going to have a little bit more limited options because it's usually going to be a one of one. You're going to have to look specifically to find like a dress in your particular size. But if you find that diamond in the rough, it's totally worth it.
Right. It truly is. It's a matter of having the time. But I think it's also like being able to let go of this feeling of like it needs to be a net new item, which I do get. Like, when I think about it from this standpoint and I'm like, yes, don't buy something that's net new. And, there is this feeling of like, oh, like, why could you not consider that? Like, what's the big deal? But then when it is for your wedding, it does have this extra layer of like wanting to feel like it's completely yours and like really special. And I'm not sure how many normal people get to have a garment made for them at any point, much less, for a wedding. So I do recognize that can be something that, factors into your decision. But if it is, the good news is, like, putting the dress aside, there's so many other things that you can essentially make your something borrowed, right?
Yeah.
Anything from any part of your decor, even your flowers. Mine were borrowed, something borrowed blooms, right? But there's just so many things I think that you don't think about. And I think the most, like, the fun ones for me are when I was like looking through the like Facebook groups when I was planning, and like one of the last things I was doing was table numbers because it's just, well, first of all, you need to know how many tables you're even going to need, which kind of happens at the end.
Once you get that final guest count, head count
exactly.
back. Yep.
But I just like went through this moment where I had found these like beautiful table numbers, just maybe it was on Pinterest, I don't know, but like in looking, and I was like, oh my God, I have to have these. And they were pretty expensive. Like each one was like over $100.
Wow.
What
were they? What did they look like?
Well, how can I explain it? It was like kind of like a 3D type of look where it was like it had this like glass like thing in the front and then like the number in like block behind it and then different color block behind that. And it just like, it looked beautiful. It looked really cool. And I like showed it to my sister and I was like, can we DIY these to have it for less money? And she was like, yes, but honestly, it's still going to cost more than you should spend.
Right. You're going to need like one of those acrylic laser cutting machines or whatever, which can cost like $1,000.
She has a Cricut. And so there was like ways we could have like made it look similar. With that. But still like just even getting the raw materials and the time to put in. And she was like, do we really need to do that? And I was like, I guess not. Like my venue had table numbers in the right color that I could just use that were already there for free.
Did you use them?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I came to my senses eventually because I was like, I was obsessed. I was looking everywhere. I was like contacting people on the Facebook group, like, do you still have these available? And it was like from 4 years ago. Like, of course they don't. Like they gave it to somebody else and that person didn't try to resell them or something. So they were lost in translation. But you can do that. Yeah. You can find somebody who probably had the exact same idea, already made it. What are they doing with it?
Right.
So all this to say, my whole saga with table numbers is that something that you are dreaming up likely exist in some sort of similar way, and somebody else used them and they don't need them again.
Right.
And
And
so
those Facebook groups are like a treasure trove of, potential decor items to take advantage of.
so many things, like easels for your signs or,
Votive candles in mass.
Oh my God. So many
in
people
bulk.
buy them from Amazon and they what do you do with them?
Right. They end up in a box in the closet, forever.
Right. Truly. And then you can kind of be like, hey, any friends, do you want these? But it's hard. So that's why turning to these groups where it's people that you don't know, but maybe they live by you and it's really easy for them to pick it up. But even the cards and gifts boxes, that was another thing. My venue had a really simple one that was totally just usable and fine.
Yeah.
And I went through this whole thing when my sister made her own for her wedding, maybe I should make one, and couldn't find something that I liked that I could make. And I was going through this whole thing and she was like, why are you even thinking about that?
Right. You're is
you're
this
not
important?
even going to see it. I didn't even see it.
Is this a priority?
Truly.
How much does this matter? Is anyone going to remember the gift or card box?
I don't remember. I don't know if I even saw it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that is a fun thing that somebody probably made something really cool already. Use theirs.
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Right. It's let's not stress over all these what are ultimately kind of insignificant details that people might not remember.
Right.
And putting that pressure on yourself. But if you can find something pre-owned and use something without having to put forth the effort to make something new yourself or buy something new.
Right. And pretty much everything, except for literally food that's going to be consumed or go bad, can be found pre-used.
Yeah.
And some of the, think about it already, the venues that you're going to, if they have more of those items already, if they have your chairs, they have the seat covers, they have all these things already, everything is being used more than once, right? Everything has had a life before. And so I think just kind of it might be helpful to go through all the things that you can consider getting pre-loved. And that goes from everything, floral arrangements, if they're faux. Honestly, even I've heard of people who've had weddings in the same weekend and use the same flowers.
Oh, wow.
Because it's they know each other. And even if you don't, honestly, imagine going in on the cost with somebody and just them delivering them to you the next day for your wedding that's literally less than 12 hours later.
Literally. It's such a smart idea. And I think the best way to try to organize something like that would either be with, the couple who's maybe getting married at the same venue as you, but the night after or something. Or, looking in your local bride Facebook groups and asking if anyone's getting married that same weekend and see what you might be able to work out, especially for fresh flowers because they can be so expensive.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. And I think your venue would, I don't know. I don't know if they would willingly be here's the information from the person. I don't know if they can give that away. But my venue has its own Facebook group of just River House brides that are
that's
there.
Cute.
So you could easily go in there and be who has this date and talk to that person.
So when Bradley Cooper and Gigi get married, she's gonna be in the Facebook group.
Yeah, she's gonna.
They're still together, right?
I have no idea.
Didn't you say that they hung out at the venue or something?
Yes, they were spotted at my wedding venue. So they're just like us.
Just like us.
But yeah, I think also there's part of this circular economy thing is also just kind of thinking green. What are things that you can do to just minimize the waste? Some of that is going to be up to your venue, without you. But I think that you can introduce an idea of do you compost food? Is that something we can do? Or, it's hard there's always going to be leftover food. Yeah. It has to be that way by design to make sure there's enough. But unfortunately, you can't take open containers and go bring that somewhere. But that is something you can do with your flowers.
Yes.
You can bring them to a hospital or a nursing home or and at least give that another life, But I think that something else that I've seen a lot of people do is repurpose things that they use in their wedding in their home.
Yes. Which
I'm
a big fan of.
Right. So this is not necessarily circular economy of it all, maybe not giving it making something out of the thing that you already use. Well, it is.
It's repurposing.
Actually, it is. You're making something out of it.
And extending the life of it beyond the wedding day.
Yeah. David's Bridal knows how important it is to find the perfect dress for any occasion. Whether you're a bride, bridesmaid, or wedding guest, they have you covered. With the Edit by DB Studio, find the trends you're looking for in this wildly affordable collection of wedding, bridesmaid, and occasion dresses. These dresses were designed with your packed social calendar in mind, with styles starting as low as $49.95. With a wide range of beautiful dresses at affordable prices, you don't have to break the bank to look perfect on your big day or any day. Come see the magic in person. Find your dream dress with the help of expert stylists and experience David's commitment to making everyone feel special no matter their budget. Book an appointment and join Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com. And so I think there's a lot of obvious ones that you can think of, like if you print out big pictures of like you and your spouse and put them around, like put that right in your home, frame it, or in anyone's home, your parents, your grandparents, but I found some like really fun out of the box ones that I definitely wouldn't have thought about.
Okay,
so I want to share these. Okay, so one of them is creating origami art out of leftover invitations or wedding stationery.
Oh, that's cute.
Right? So that is a thing. Like you're ordering them, you do have to have some extra because sometimes some of them are just even damaged. So you need to make sure you have extra.
True.
But then it's like, what do? You frame one probably. Maybe you give one to mom and dad. But I loved this idea because if you make like cute little like sculptures or garlands, or like you can make handmade ornaments.
Oh, that'd be cute for your Christmas tree.
And give them out to everybody.
Yeah.
Like I think that's really cute.
I love that. I love a keepsake.
Right? Okay, this one is interesting. A cake topper, having like a jeweler turn it into a piece of jewelry.
Oh, interesting.
So it has to be like a durable material, like a metal or a wood or a resin. I didn't even have a cake, so I didn't have a cake topper. So I don't even know what they were looking like these days. But people got them turned, like pieces of it turned into a pendant for a necklace or like a bracelet, like a charm.
Wow.
And how cute is that? Like to wear that around with you all the time?
Yeah, or like maybe a brooch or something.
Yeah, I love that idea. This one is a little more doable, but making floral candles out of your wedding flowers. So basically you would press and dry your bouquet or like your flowers from the day.
I love the pressed flower thing, just in general.
Just in
so
general.
Pretty.
I know. But then you can press some of them, put them in a frame, and then take some of them, you just like literally add it to melted wax and make candles.
Yeah.
With your like your wedding flowers.
You could probably make dozens and dozens of them.
I know, this could become your side hustle and then you could sell them. But like imagine like every anniversary, like lighting that candle.
Candles. That's cute.
That's so cute.
I love that.
A similar one, people have made petal-infused soap from their wedding flowers.
Yeah.
So that's cute too. And like it said on here that you can add like essential oils or something to like make the smell. And I'm wondering if you could add the perfume that you wore on your wedding day.
Oh, I wonder. I don't know about the scientific makeup of that. It's like, is it flammable? Is it not?
No idea. But wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
It probably is flammable. Never mind. Don't try it at home.
I'm actually going to like a little signature scent making class tonight with a friend.
Oh my God. All right. Ask your
I will
teacher.
ask. I will find out and report back.
Okay, this is one I'm not so sure anyone's really doing, but apparently they have. Making wall art or like mosaics from the like china or like plates that you use at your wedding.
Oh. Who's going to break the plates?
I mean, you do. You have to do it safely, but like that.
I know that's common. It's part of tradition at a Jewish wedding, right?
No.
Did you
just
break
the glass
plates during the?
No, that's like a Greek thing.
Oh, it's a Greek thing.
Yeah,
that's right.
But the Jewish thing is you step on a glass.
Right, you step on the glass.
Yeah.
During the ceremony.
But I've seen there's an amazing TikTok of this girl who took like, this girl who took plates, like I guess they were her grandmother's old china, which we like joke about all the time. Like no one's putting that on their registry anymore, so you might not even have it. But there was like this little like flower design that was all around it, and she cut out that part and made necklaces for like all of the women in the family.
Oh, wow.
But like you could, I don't know, you can just like make art out of it. This
I love a craft project.
I know, right? This one to give, another life to any like glasses that you might get, like have left over from the wedding. You can make a floating glass like chandelier by just turning it upside down, adding clear wire and LED lights. Imagine, like, honestly, I'm thinking about that with these.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm guilty. Well, my sister did this. Blame her. But she got I didn't even know how many came in this box. And yes,
they're so pretty.
We've used them, we've said this 800 times on the show, but like use them at my shower. Then I use them at my wedding. We use that a baby shower after. Now they're a staple of the Bouquet Toss set dressing.
Yes.
But that would be kind of cool to make some sort
cool.
of, I don't know if I'm skilled enough, but.
Yeah, there's some electrical wiring involved, but it
that's
can
pretty
be done.
Cool. Yeah. And then the last one that I think a lot of people have probably heard about, but taking parts of your dress and turning it into things. So people have made like literal like clutch, like a purse out of the fabric of their wedding dress. I love that.
Or even like the mother's wedding dress.
Yes.
As a way to bring in like that family heirloom.
That's true. Even like hair ties, like scrunchies out of like material. You can also do this out of whatever you're getting altered. Like, if you're getting tons of alterations, you're going to have so much fabric
if they
left
have
over.
to take your dress in or shorten it.
Yes. I mean, pretty much anyone is getting at least the train and like the bottom of the dress. I mean, I don't know, maybe an Amazon woman is tall enough, but like probably most people, there's going to be that stuff left over, and you just ask the person that's doing it, and they might even be able to make it for you for a fee, But I love that idea. Something that I hadn't thought of is using some of that fabric for like a table runner in your home or to make like a throw pillow.
Yeah.
And then like imagine just like having that like piece of your dress, and it could still be like if it's just taken from the stuff that was cut off, then you can still preserve your dress, or you can pass your dress on, or you can resell it, or somebody can use it, but you still have like something made from it. I think that's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Such fun and creative ideas.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that like truly just the whole point of this episode is that getting a little bit creative with where you find things for your wedding can A, save you a ton of money, but B, also just kind of like help cut down on the waste that is just so inevitable as part of planning a one-day event. And it can just like make you feel a little bit better, even about the sticker shock, like knowing that you're going to spend this much, but that you can have another life after, or feel like it wasn't just like all one day and then now it's poof, it's gone.
Right.
I think that's like a helpful way for you while you're planning to feel better about all the decisions that you're making.
Totally. And it's not going to be perfect. No one's ever going to make every right eco-conscious decision, but all the little efforts and intentions like add up.
Yeah. And I think that it's something, while you're sitting and stressing about what vendors you're going to find and all the things on your to-do list and all the things you have to do, it's like, I think this is a nice way to like reassign that stress to something a little bit more productive and think more so about like, what are ways that I can either cut costs or cut waste by reaching out to somebody who maybe has something that I really like, or reselling something that I have used and passing it on. Like you might make a friend by connecting with somebody who wants the thing that you've had, or vice versa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in the spirit of being green with your wedding, what are some other things that you can do to just kind of make better choices?
Right. Well, obviously you can't reuse someone else's invitations, but there are lots of different options for being more eco-friendly. Digital invitations is definitely one. There's so many platforms out there that offer evites. Some of them are even free or low cost, but still give sort of like the vibe of opening like a real invitation, paper invitation, but just in a digital format. And a big fan of the digital RSVP, because then you don't have to worry about people sending in envelopes and extra, RSVP cards and stamps and all of that.
It's a lot. It adds up. I did. I went digital for save the dates. I did want to do RSVPs digital, but I got some backlash.
Oh, from who?
Just family. Like I think older family members just kind of feeling a little bit like, does everything have to be, digital, and everything have, can some of it be a little bit more what they're used to? Yeah.
I know there's a big debate on whether or not paper invitations will ever completely go away.
Right.
Or if everything will be, if everything will ultimately end up fully digital.
Right. I mean, I will say there was a lot of joy in like going to the mailbox every day to see the new RSVPs come in. So Like, when else do you really get – nobody gets like
Nobody
mail
gets
like that
mail
anymore.
I know. It's so true. It's like a nice little dopamine hit.
Right. So, I don't
But
know,
yeah,
keep that.
other than that, if you are going to do printed invitations, there's other ways that you can kind of like reduce your waste too, like choosing, recycled paper to print your invitations on. So that's one good way. And then, if you can do like an all-in-one invitation design, that's a great way to like cut back on like the extra paper pieces too.
Yeah. I really like that because when you are like sitting down to do the invitations, you're flooded with, even if you're like making them yourself or like doing them on one of the sites where it's like you have a template and you're kind of just filling in the words.
Yeah.
There's so many options for extra things like, a details card and I can't even think of them. There's like a million different ones.
And it can get exponentially large, right?
Yeah.
It's like the invite, the accommodations card, the directions, transportation.
There's
some people will include a registry one in there too.
Yeah. And it's like you start to feel like when you're doing it, like, oh, do I need all these things? Like,
No.
Is that going to make it look better? Is that going to make it look more elevated? And it's like, no, A, you don't. And B, like, feel like rest assured knowing that you're also kind of like cutting down and saving on waste if you just streamline it. Because at this point, like all of that information can just go on your wedding website.
Exactly.
So it's like you have one printed thing, then the RSVP card if you're doing it physical. But, you don't think about it. It's like it's another envelope. It's another stamp.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
There's actually a really cool design that's offered, I think, by Minted, and it's literally all in one, and it folds.
Yes.
And it, like, folds up into the envelope itself. It's, like, not an extra external envelope.
I think they all have that
Genius.
now. Yeah. I saw
and, like, the tear-off RSVP postcard.
Yep. It's literally all in one.
Smart. Savvy.
Yes. Saving the earth.
So let's also talk about favors.
Okay. You don't need them.
Be eco-friendly by not having them, especially not if it's just junk with like a monogram on it.
Yes, truly.
So, I mean, obviously, like edible favors are a great thing because everybody loves a sweet treat. Or you could do like a donation to a charity in lieu of favors, maybe an eco-friendly or conservatory. What's the word I'm looking for? Conservancy.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Maybe choosing a charity that has like an eco-friendly,
mission.
Focus or mission is a great idea. And then another thing I love is maybe not necessarily favors, but, for your send-off at the end of the night.
Which you don't need to have.
You don't need to have, but it does make for cute pictures.
It does.
Do it for the gram. It's always a nice closing page in your wedding album. So that's why I love the idea of some sort of send-off.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be extravagant. And obviously, like, a lot of venues have restrictions on, like, what you can do anyway.
Right.
So, like, you might not be able to do sparklers or something like that. But eco-friendly confetti has become a really popular thing. It can be made out of, like, rice paper. So, like, if it rains, it literally just, like, disintegrates. Or you can make confetti out of flower petals or leaves.
Yeah, if you ask your florist for just like leftover petals, like it doesn't matter what colors, it doesn't matter what the blooms were, but they always have tons just lying around. They can give you a bunch that you can use for your send-off, and then it's flowers.
Right. And you're not creating any waste.
Yeah, you can also take some of the – I've seen people do like hole punches that are in different shapes.
Yes.
And then like hole punch the leaves or the flowers, and so it like –
my hand is cramping just thinking about having to do
that
for so long. That's a great mindless, project to work on while you're watching Netflix.
Yeah, or like get like your bridal party to do it. But that it like literally can look like actual confetti.
Yeah.
And then it's not bad for the world.
So what about transportation?
Yeah, I mean, this is, as you said, the biggest carbon footprint, right, for anyone's wedding. But encouraging car sharing and, transportation that is maybe a bus or something that can get like mass people on one trip together, I think is helpful. It depends. If you're, a lot of people are not getting married in their hometown where they met their significant other and everybody lives in the same place, right?
Right.
It's just not as common. So you're gonna have it, but I think it's like just encouraging people to kind of maybe take one car or Usually anyway, parking is limited. So just being really upfront with like, hey, parking is a little bit hard at the venue. If you can have like group sharing and facilitate it, like help people. If there's like a single person or two people that maybe don't know anybody else, be like, hey, you're coming from a similar place. Maybe you can, I think it's just, again, it's putting in a little bit extra time, but that's also a level of care that I think your guests will feel like really taken care of for.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Thinking about them and making them feel comfortable and taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, I love this. Okay, so what about having a quick game of Keep It or Toss It to wrap it up?
Let's do it.
Wearing your mom's wedding dress.
Keep it. I did it. It's like maybe...
I mean, I would say toss, but like I don't have – my mom didn't have a wedding dress. So
okay.
My parents got married in Las Vegas.
Stop it.
I've never talked about this on the pod, I don't think.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What did your mom wear? Have you seen pictures?
I have.
Were there
I don't know
pictures?
if I can expose my parents like this.
All right, fine. Don't.
I mean, I can, but I don't know if we'll leave it in or not. I'll have to run it by her after recording. But my parents got married in Vegas, and my mom was wearing like a blue maternity dress.
Love it.
I was in.
Because you were there.
I was there.
In utero.
Born a month later.
Oh, wow.
The jig is up. I've never shared that before. I don't know if she would be happy about it.
Well, we'll find out.
It's fine.
I keep because I did it, and it was probably one of the most special details I had at my wedding.
I was obsessed.
Right? So I wore, if you don't already know, because I've probably said this 800 times on the show, but I took my mom's wedding dress and created like a 3-piece outfit that I wore at my rehearsal dinner. I am constantly trying to find another excuse to wear it.
I mean, it looks like high fashion. It's like couture.
I am really proud of it. So I worked with a costume designer who I had done some shows with, and she literally drew up designs based on things that I sent her. I probably sent her like 40 different images of things that I was like, I think this is possible with what we have here. And some of it she was like, it's not. Some of it she was like, you could do it, but we need extra fabric. And I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to just use the source material.
Yeah.
And
we've got to get them to put it on the screen during this.
Yeah, we'll have to show it. But I ended up like picking one of the designs, and she mocked it up with just like leftover fabric so that we weren't cutting the actual dress until we knew exactly what we were doing and how much material was needed. But it's like it's a corset top, a skirt, and then like a sleeve.
Like a bolero sort of thing.
And I am...
It was long sleeve, right?
Long sleeve. Yeah. And because my mom's dress was. And so it definitely it conserved that part of it, which is really cool. I mean, I need an excuse to wear it. I'm thinking about dyeing it so that I can wear it just
what color would you dye it?
That's the thing. I'm not sure.
Black or?
I don't know. I have to ask like an expert. I don't know how well the color will really.
Yeah, not something you want to DIY dye yourself.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. But I just always want to wear it.
Yeah.
So, and I thought about bringing it on my honeymoon, but I was like, I don't know if I was going to travel well, and I don't want to lose it. But I love it so much that I'm like truly already, because
you can wear it on your anniversaries.
That's true. I mean,
like
if we're
a dinner
doing
date,
fancy.
Well, you should.
Okay, I guess.
Well, you could even wear it at home for like
just put it on.
Yeah, why not?
But I really
watch your wedding video.
Yeah, I love it so much. I had so my actual wedding dress, I had a few people actually ask me like, "Where'd you get it? Can I find it? Can I wear yours?" Like people, I was shocked about it, and I was like, I really should. I should sell it to somebody. And then I was like, wait, but I want, if I ever have a daughter, I want her to be able to wear it. Or I want to just personally take my wedding dress and like shorten it into like a cocktail gown or something that I can wear again. So
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, if you have a daughter, given Ryan's height, like she will not be as tiny as you.
We'll see.
But it's a sweet idea.
Yeah. But so keep it. Definitely keep it.
Yes. Okay. So next is thrifted wedding decor.
I'm gonna keep this.
Yeah, same.
But it's only gonna work if you have a particular vision.
Yeah, exactly.
For your day. Like if you really want things that are uniform and you want 12 of the same item, you're not gonna be able to find that.
Right.
But it is beautiful to have like a mismatched look, and it also just has this like extra cool vibe when it's a vintage thing.
I love it. I think that sort of eclectic, mismatched, it just feels like, I don't know, even like bohemian a little bit, or you can really like play with different styles. And yeah, it just feels like unique and has a special character.
Yeah, we featured some weddings on the blog that were definitely like a micro size wedding with like maybe like 10 to 15 guests. But we've had a few of these where people have got like purchased full like sets of glassware and dishes and things to use because they were, you know, either at like an Airbnb or at like a small venue or in their backyard.
Right.
But putting together all those pieces and then because it's not that much, that became their like home, you know, dishware.
Yeah.
But putting together like just this eclectic combination of different vintage glasses and teacups and things like that, and it's really cool.
It's really cool. And speaking of teacups, I remember seeing, I think it was a wedding that we featured sometime over the years. The couple found a ton of vintage teacups by thrifting, and they made them into candles that they gave away as favors.
Oh my God.
Isn't that cute?
That's cool.
I loved that.
Now just add putting in your dried flowers for the wedding.
Yes.
Perfect.
Amazing. Speaking of dried flowers in your bouquet and centerpieces.
Like mixed in or just?
Just.
I worry that they would like crumble and fall apart and be a little too delicate.
Uh-huh.
But I do think, I mean, that's a look. That could be kind of cool. I'll keep it.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't like fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to handle that.
For sure. What about greenery only? Speaking of being green.
I'm keeping that. I think that is really cool. I don't think I was bold enough or non-traditional enough to do it. I also really wanted like the pops of color to come from the flowers that I used.
Yeah.
But I love seeing, I mean, that is a boho vibe. That's really cool.
I really like it too, especially for like an outdoor wedding. It just like feels very like natural.
Yeah.
And nice.
And if you already have like all the natural colors from being outdoors, if you have like a spring or a summer wedding, then like it almost, your colors of your flowers could even clash with like all the things that are around it.
Yeah,
so having
true.
just greenery could be a really cool.
So true.
Chic thing.
Yeah, or to the same point, if you're having an indoor wedding and it's a colorful venue,
right?
Keeping it
that
neutral,
is true. Yeah,
can help balance things.
Sometimes they are, and like that's like the charm of the venue could be really fantastic. But then you do have to really think like flowers don't always go with that. Then
yeah, so true. It's all about finding the balance. All right.
Yeah, this was super fun. I hope we've inspired people to go reach out on some group that they're a part of or just do some more research about ways that they can upcycle, find something used, or pass it on after the wedding.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in to The Bouquet Toss from the team at thebudgetsavvybride.com. The Bouquet Toss is a Love Stories TV podcast.
Your support for the show makes it all possible, so don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms, and follow Budget Savvy Bride on social media.
As always, stay savvy and stay tuned for our next episode. This episode is brought to you by David's Bridal. The edit by DB Studio was designed with your packed social calendar in mind. Find the trends you're looking for in this wildly affordable collection of wedding, bridesmaid, and occasion dresses, starting as low as $49.95. Join Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.